Hey, it's DK. Today what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about your Raspberry Pi. In particular, let's take a look at some very simple bash type of instructions. All right. So what I've done, of course, is I'm in the um, the Start XFCE4, the XFCE4, the environment that you guys are all using for the Macs, or for the um, Raspberry Pis. And notice up here I'm actually running VNC. The window that you see right now is part of my iMac window. All right, so I'm actually running the Raspberry Pi with VNC wirelessly to my iMac. All right, so let's start with some bash commands. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go to terminal. Okay, right down here there's a terminal emulator. Of course you can go on over here to applications and go to terminal emulator right here if you like. Well, so today I'm just going to go ahead and use the terminal emulator. All right, so there's a couple other things that you can do. Okay, you can go on the web if you want. There's a web browser here. If you click on that, you can get on the web. Applications includes screenshots. Okay, you could take screenshots of your screen right here and save them. I usually save them to the desktop right up here on the Raspberry Pi desktop. In fact, why don't they do that now? Screenshot it right now. All right, I'll screenshot the entire screen, which is this everything in the screen here, and I'll go. All right, I'll put a delay of 1 second before I capture it. So I hit OK. Delay. Now I've saved. I'm going to go ahead and save it to the desktop. Let's save it to the desktop. There's my image. Okay, so I'm just going to call it a test image. .pgn. Okay, and I'm going to save it to the desktop here and save. All right, great. So it saved it to the desktop. So let's check it out just for fun. So now you go ahead and double click on it. Hey, there's my desktop. Okay, big wow, right? Okay, so in order to close this, I'm going to go ahead and close that. Oops, I actually closed the whole thing, so that's no good. So I'm just going to go back on screen share and type in my IP address, 145. Connect it up. My password here. Connect. And there we go. Okay, so I'm back here. So let's see. I'm just going to take this thing and close my image. All right, there we go. Okay. So let's keep looking at some applications. I have other accessories that I can use. There's GVim. We're going to go ahead and use GVim. I've actually solved the editor GVim versus Vim solution or problems that we had in class, so we'll go over that today on the second program. Okay, so not quite right now, but maybe on the second program. All right, so this is you can do drawings. You can get on the internet, of course, Firefox. You can do multimedia, and you've got some Office type of things that you can do. You can do LibreOffice Writer, that's kind of like Word. All right, LibreOffice Calc, that's kind of like Excel. And LibreOffice Draw, which is kind of like PowerPoint, okay, that kind of thing. All right, so I think that's all of that stuff that I want to go over now. But let's go ahead and do some bash on the terminal emulator. So I'm going to click on the terminal emulator down here, or remember you can go to it from here. There's a terminal emulator there. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the terminal emulator, and the default folder or directory that you're going to be in is me. So I'm just going to see what files there are on there, or directories. Alright, so blue things are like directories. Live is also a directory. And you got a bunch of stuff here, right? So if I change the directory or change the folder to home, I'll just do this, cd, okay, home. All right, and when I do that, notice I've got the home right in here, okay, me at learn.py home. And I'll do an ls again. Hey, there's the me folder, okay? There's that me folder. So if I change directory to me again, okay, and do an ls, I just get the desktop. So what I did just now is got to the place where I have the desktop. So I can actually store things on the desktop, all right? So I can actually go to the desktop. I can do a cd desktop and see what's there. And there's my test image. Okay, remember that test image that we did? We put there. There's that test image. Okay, so there's that test image on my desktop. All right. Go over here. All right. All right. So so I'm on desktop. So I'm just gonna get out of desktop and go back to the me. Notice this little tilde here. That tilde tells me that I'm in my home directory for me. Okay, I'm back to where I want to be. Me. Okay, so I'll just go cd ... That takes me back. Okay, back one folder or back up one area, and then when I do an ls here, I see I'm at the desktop. So that's where I really want to be, right? Okay. So that's great. I might go ahead and just leave that for now. So if I want to make a directory, I can make a directory here. All right, I can just do make directory, okay, which is make a folder. I'm going to make a folder called programs. So I'm going to store all my programs in that program folder. There we go. All right, and if I look in the desktop, you'll notice that there's nothing there. Okay, there's nothing there. Now, if you want your folder for the programs on your desktop, you can do that too. All right. So just for fun, I'm going to change right now. I'm just going to change the directory of the folder to programs, and you'll see that there's nothing in it. So cd programs. Okay, now I'm in the programs folder or directory, and if I do an ls, which is to list out all the files, there's nothing there. Now, there might be some hidden files in there, so I'm just going to see if there's anything hidden. And one way to do that would be ls space -al. All right. And yeah, there's a few other things there. There's a few bytes of some other stuff. This is just bookkeeping stuff for the computer. And it doesn't really mean anything. Okay, so I'm in the programs folder right now. So I'm going to get out of there. Back in me. If I do an ls, sure enough, I got desktop and programs. Great. But what if I want my folder to show up on my desktop? All right, on my desktop. So, which is like this environment right in here, right? This environment right in here. So if I want folders to show up there, so I might say, all right, fine. I'll change directory to desktop. Okay, and then I'll make a directory called. I'm just gonna call this progs. Okay, so I don't confuse myself with programs. Hey, look, check it out. It's appeared on the desktop, right? The nice thing about this is you can just double click on this thing, double click here, and actually see if there's any programs in here. All right, just like with your Mac or your Windows computer. All right, so I'm gonna just stay there. I'm gonna get out of this thing. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and close the window. There are other ways to close the window. All right. Let's try Control Z. Sometimes Control Z works. All right. Oh, apparently not. Okay. So you can actually hit exit maybe. Yeah, exit gets you out of there. All right. Fantastic. Or you can just close the window the regular way. All right. So that's the end of my bash thing. But let's go ahead and write a small program. The Howzit program. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go to gvim. All right, go to gvim, which is in accessories and gvim. All right. Remember, this is all using VNC. You see, all right. Everything's wireless. There's my gvim. All right, and there's that. So I'm going to expand this out a little bit so that we can see a little bit more about what's going on. All right. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is if I want to insert some files, insert stuff, I have to type in I, okay? The letter I, lowercase I. Oop, there it is, insert. Fantastic. And remember the header stuff that I want you to put in on these things. I'll just go double the comment, double slash, and I'll just put ENGR 102, section 3, or whatever the section is. I think it's section 3. And then put my name, okay, or you guys all know me as this, so we'll just put that there. And then I'll say assignment, Howzit, or whatever, you know, whatever your assignment number is. The main thing is that you have this thing right in here, okay, and DK, and if there's an assignment number, you should put the assignment number on. All right, so the next thing I do is I put in program name, okay, program name, okay, but you can just put program. In this case, it's going to be howzit1.c, okay, that's my program. All right, so the first thing you have to do is do an include file. And stdio has a bunch of libraries that you want to use, so I'm just going to go ahead and include stdio.h. And the handout that I gave you has some explanation of what all of this stuff is. stdio has a bunch of library functions that you can use, like printing and entering numbers and that kind of stuff. All right, so you don't have to write the basic parts of a program that way. Program instructions. All right, so so in our case, we're just going to leave that. That's good enough for now. And then you're going to start off by doing int main. Okay, so there's several ways to do this. This is how you start a program. All right. And inside the left curly bracket and right curly bracket, which will come at the end of the program, that's your main part of the program. Okay. Well, Dr. Mayhew has a different way to write this, so I'm just going to comment my way out. Okay. Now you can do it either way. I mean, you know, but you might as well get used to the way Dr. Mayhew does it. So I'll just do an int. I think he does this, main, and he does this. All right, okay, that's what he does. He just broke up the int main thing. What that says is it's a it's the main part of the program that may actually call little subprograms later, and we'll get to that. Those are called functions. And the reason why it's int is because it's an integer. It actually returns an integer. So when it actually completes going through the main function, through the program, it'll actually return a 0. It doesn't actually give you a 0, okay? But there's a 0 in there someplace that you can pull out to say, hey, I've completed the program. All right, so that's that. I'm going to then print Howzit, okay? Printf, that's how you print onto the screen. And then \n is just a space, right? It's a space. And I'm going to say Howzit. And then I put another, I can actually put 2 in there, 2 spaces in there if I want to. Double quotation marks, okay? And close bracket. Now, on all your statements, and this is a statement, computer statement, okay, or computer line, you want to put a semicolon in there, okay? The dreaded semicolon, missing semicolon, very common error. This is not a colon, okay? It's not 2 dots, it's 1 dot and a comma sign, okay? Semicolon. All right. Now, I told you old programs like me put return 0 in here, okay, to indicate that, hey, my program is done, and I really want to send a 0 back to whoever, okay, if I want to. But you don't have to do that. So I'm just going to close the program like this. All right, so now you've written your first program, and let's see if we can compile it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and write this. So the first thing you need to do is do a, or you can do this, file. There's several ways to do this, okay? one way is to put a colon in. Okay, you see my cursor is blinking. If you put a colon, what that says to the GVim compiler, okay, GVim editor, if you type in a colon, which is 2 dots, it tells the editor, the GVim editor, hey, I have a command to put it in. Okay, so I can go like this. Oops. First thing you need to do is hit escape. If you hit escape, I'm sorry, notice the flashing cursor there? Hit escape, and see it changed, right? All right, and insert left. Okay, insert went away at the bottom left. So since I hit an escape, I'll just type in a colon. A colon will actually take you straight down to the bottom. Okay, straight down to the bottom of the left of the screen, and I'm going to write. Okay, now you could actually just put W, but then that wouldn't do us any good right now because we don't have a name for this file yet. So I'm going to say W howzit1.c. Okay, call it howzit1, and then I'm going to hit enter. And it can't open the file, so all right, I'll continue that. And this is just the little idiosyncrasies of this thing. So there's a issue that that the compiler has sometimes when you do that. So well, the better way probably for you is you just go File, Save As, howzit.c, and where are we going to save it? I'm going to save it in the desktop in Programs. Okay, in Programs. Okay, I'm going to save it in Desktop in Programs and hit Save. Alright, so it's actually saved it in Desktop howzit1.c. Alright, so if I want to get out of here, I'll just hit Escape and colon Q, okay, and then enter. All right, so let's make sure that the program actually went in there. Double click, howzit.c, great. If I double click on howzit.c, what's going to happen? It's going to bring up GVim, and it's going to bring up the program. And it looks like the program got in there pretty well, I think. I don't know what this stuff is here. Yeah, there we go. It's all right. Okay. So that's great. So I'm just going to close my program. Click. So right now I got howzit.c in there, right? So if I want to compile it, let the computer, compile the program, I'll go down here. And I'll do an ls to see what's there. Well, I'm not there, so I need to go to cd home, do an ls, and then so what I'm doing is looking for my howzit.c file, okay? And then I'll do a cd me. I know I'm in me. And then I'll do an ls. I know I'm in desktop, right? So I'm going to do a cd desktop. And then I'll do an ls. There's programs. I'm going to do a cd programs, cd progs. And there's my program, okay? So once I find my program, okay, I'm going to compile it. And the compiling it means turning something from a text file, which howzit.c is and currently, okay, howzit.c currently is a text file. I'm going to convert that to something, an executable, okay, something that the computer can execute. So I'm going to go GCC. That's the way you compile it as a C. Make the text of the program into an executable program, right? So GCC howzit1.c. All right, and I hit enter, and look what happened. Okay, it just gave you the cursor again, but look over here in the files. All right, look at that. You have an a.out now. So that a.out actually has your executable file. And to execute the program, you just do a /a.out. Okay, that will, oops, dot out. Okay, so what that'll do is execute the Howzit program. And there it is. Okay, So there's an alternate way to execute the Howzit program. You could, instead of an a.out, which is a generic GCC compiler generated output file, okay, executable file. What if you want to call it something else? Okay, what if I want to call it Howzit? Okay, so I'll do a GCC howzit1.c, and I'll say howzit out. Okay. No, actually, I can't do that. I have to do something special. Dash O, small o, as an output. Howzit out. Okay, I want to call it Howzit out. So I want to call, instead of using a.out, I want to be able to execute something using the word Howzit out. Okay. Now I did it. If I do an ls now, there's a Howzit out. In fact, if I look on my file manager, right, file system, hey, there's that executable. Notice it's a diamond, just like the a.out. So that's an executable file. Great. So I'll just execute it just like a.out. So I go // Howzit, and it's got all the capital letters and small letters have to be appropriately made. And Howzit. Okay. So that's the Howzit program. Next time, what I'm going to do is do the LED on, LED off, and I'm going to include the wiring pi program, right? And it's got some special things to it. The way we did it in class, going into the root directory of the file, it's kind of cumbersome and it's prone to error, right? We all have that. It was more difficult. So I'm actually going to do it in a different way that'll help you compile it and do things in a simpler way that I think you'll be happier with. All right? So that's it for now. Thanks for joining me. Aloha.